What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you don't know who I am, and some of you may not, it's got 10,000 new subscribers, and I'm totally excited about it. I'm the author of a Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the palm of your hand. You can grab that on Amazon or in the links below. Listen, today I had a really great video that I shared on Instagram, and it's talking about gentrification. It's talking about expensive cities. And I said, let me bring on some people out of different cities on. So we've got some great panel lined up for you. We've got Kiera of Charm City Buyers. She's in the Baltimore City region. You've got Courtney, the ivyinvestor.com, I may be saying that wrong. And she's out of Philly. Now, you know I love talking about Philly. I'm usually talking about Asia Selden, but Philly nonetheless. And then we have Andre Hatchett, who's doing a twofer. He's out of New York, but he's also living in Atlanta. So he knows two expensive cities. I'm in Austin, Texas, trying to grab a condo in Nashville and Charlotte. So I know the expensive city kind of lingo. We also have cousin Nita coming on, and she's out of Cleveland. So you guys, do me a big favor, introduce yourselves. Start with Courtney.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me, Erica. It's always a pleasure. I am Courtney Richardson, the Ivy Investor. I teach women how to invest, specifically looking at IPOs and marijuana. But my day job, I'm a real estate attorney. So I know all things real estate in the city of Philadelphia. City of Philadelphia has lots of fun things going on, like the 10-year tax abatement. But we'll talk about that later. But I think that's pretty much the thing. It's an expensive city. Everybody's excited about it because of its location. And you know what happens when people get excited about property? Price goes up.
That's right. That's right. Also, Andre Hatchett, introduce yourself.
I was gonna go after Charm City.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let
be
me
polite.
Excuse me, Kiera, why you have that beautiful light?
Always a gentleman. Always a gentleman.
I try to be.
So I'm Kiera from Charm City Buyers here in Baltimore. We're actually still in the office wrapping up something we had here. But yeah, so we're all about investing in Baltimore, really big on building community, building generational wealth, and leveraging real estate to do so.
All right. Now what's up, everybody? Brother Dray here. Hope you're doing well. Regular friend to the channel. Have this cool platform as well called the Notary Business School, where I teach people how to become successful mobile notary publics. We got a few thousand students in there over the past few years, and even some of my students have now become teachers, and they're making real good money. So happy about that.
All right, everybody. So far, we already got 67 people in here. I'm hoping my commentators can also see the comments. So you know what we're going to do. We're going to give a shout out for cities. You guys, help us help you. If you drop cities and states in here, we can plan meetups. We can plan events. We can plan to hop in those cities. So far right now, we got June 29th, Charm City Buyers is holding, I think, Mobilize Baltimore. I just did a meetup in Atlanta, impromptu, did 2 in one day. Then there's also, we're going to somehow get to Philly because we need Philly cheesesteaks. Okay. Then we also need to get back to Atlanta, VA. Listen, y'all put these cities and states in here and help your girl out and hit the like button. Yeah. So we have 71 people in here. I'm going to drop some. We're going to do our roll call, and then we're going to go on to the video that is the hot button topic I want to talk about. We've got New Orleans in the building, DC, Norfolk, Connecticut. Sorry, killing that. Memphis, Tennessee, Albuquerque,
Norfolk, Connecticut. Norfolk.
Well, listen, they put a W in there. Okay, you guys need spellings. Okay, Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, newcomer from Michigan. What's up, Urban H, newcomer from Michigan? Welcome to the channel. Springfield, Virginia, DC, Staten Island, New York, NYC, Fairfield, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Oakland, California, living in Atlanta, GA.
Alexis, what's up? She was out there with us.
She was. What's up? We have Hinesville, Georgia, Columbus, Ohio, Bunkie, LA. Oh, Los Angeles. We have Tallahassee, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Jacksonville, Florida, Nashville, Tennessee. Sorry, I missed you in ATL. See, that's what I'm saying. We missed you in ATL, but I was talking about it all week. More ATL, Charlotte, North Carolina, San Diego, Cleveland in the video, and that's quick STA, Cleveland in the video. Harlem, Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, Phoenix, Dalton, GA, Roanoke, Alabama, Hillsborough, North Carolina, Plano, Texas. Okay, Plano close to Dallas, Mile High City, and more Detroit. All right, you guys, Chicago. We got them all in the building today. So let me see if I can unmute yourself, House Hunters 216. What's good? Hello, Cousin Nita. Let's see if it works.
Cousin Nita's getting in order. But Courtney didn't say that she throws like these crazy brunch parties that sell out in 15 minutes.
Really?
Out there. She forgot to say that.
Okay. Well, listen, I want Cousin Nita to introduce herself, but let me make sure. Oh, she muted herself. She doing something.
You got to close that wholesale contract, Nita. Let it go, Nita. You get back to it now. Come on now.
Come on, introduce yourself to the audience, Cousin Nita. Unmute yourself. You got it.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I'm a little late.
All good. What up, cuz?
Cousin time.
So I gave your introduction because you weren't here. I was like, it's Cousin Nita. But you can do a better one. So do a better one.
So my name is Nita, affectionately known as Cousin Nita. I'm a real estate investor from Cleveland. Got my start with a real estate strategy known as wholesaling that allows you to acquire property, no cash, no credit. And yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Love it. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're at 100 people. Thank God. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Now, as you guys know, there's a video by Maxwell that went viral. I want to share it because I want to give some of y'all feedback on it, and you guys let me know. People in the comments are already saying, Cousin Nita, Cousin Nita, Cousin Nita. Hey, Nita, look, see, your people in here.
Whoever that was that said that they were in Columbus, shoot me a DM on Instagram because I'm in Columbus right now. Maybe we can have breakfast tomorrow.
Okay, whoever that is. Also, there's some people in here from Cleveland in here and some Ohio folk. All right, let me share my screen. Okay. All right, everybody. So as you can see, this is my Instagram here. All right, we're gonna go on. Guys, please let me know if you can hear it. Drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear this. So we're gonna go ahead and get it played now.
Gentrification, you can't fix by doing this march in the streets. You gotta own some shit. And when you own it, then they can't push you out. You can sell out, but they can't push you out. So it goes deep, man. I think that's why people really need to be like, hell with whatever you think community-wise would work. You have to control your own money. This is a capitalist country. The only thing that matters is money. But then you also gotta say, how do I gain that? It's through actual education and getting your money. You can't sit at the table if you don't have no money. Just remember that. You're not a decision maker. You can protest, you can cry, you can do all you want to, but if you do not have money, they do not care. That's what it boils down to. When you learn that about this country, really the entire world, you have money. You're not a part of the decision making process. I don't even want to hear you. You cry if you want to. Gentrification.
I'm gonna let it play one more time for those getting in.
Like doing this march in the streets. You gotta own some shit. And when you own it, they can't push you out. You can sell out, but they can't push you out. So it goes deep, man. I think that's why people really need to be like, hell with whatever you think community-wise would work. You have to control your own money. This is a capitalist country. The only thing that matters is money. But then you also gotta say, how do I gain that? It's through actual education and getting your money. You can't sit at the table if you don't have no money. Just remember that. You're not a decision maker. You can protest, you can cry, you can do all you want to, but if you do not have money, they do not care. That's what it boils down to. When you learn that about this country, really the entire world, you don't have money. You're not a part of the decision making process. I don't even want to hear you. You cry if you want to.
All right. So that has been the video that went viral for Max, and you know, it got some good, got some bad in the comment section. I mean, people going crazy about it. Now, I think we've heard this kind of speech, you know, several different ways, several different times, but you know, it's something about that moisturized beard. It get that viral on it, okay? You got a moisturized beard, that thing goes skyrocketing. So look, I would like to hear what y'all think first. because I think it's important for us to tap into the communities, because each one of y'all picked a city that is expensive, one, or is in a process of gentrification, which is Cousin Nita or Charm City buyers. They fall under that. And so I just want to get some of your feedback on it. And if you're ready, Cousin Nita, I'm gonna kick it off with you.
So I agree 100%. I mean, I had a post myself where I said gentrification is our fault, and it was rooted in kind of the same idea that Max was describing. You know what I mean? Like he said, I mean, there's only but so much, protesting and begging and pleading, and this ain't fair, and you're pushing us out, and what about the old people? I mean, there's only but so much of that you can do while you don't own anything in your community, while you haven't invested any time, any attention, any of your resources. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it today. I was talking to a friend of mine that I grew up with, and he's real big into a lot of other things. And his grandma lives in the same neighborhood where we kind of grew up. And he always talks about, oh, and I'm just thinking, like, bro, like, you haven't been back to that area since we grew up and since we left. Like, your grandma is there, and you still won't go back and cut her grass, or pick up any trash from around her house. So you really don't have really shit to say about nothing as far as it relates to that community. A lot of times, I think we as Black people, we're so emotionally charged that we don't, the logic escapes us. And so it's like, again, if you aren't, either put up or shut up. You know what I mean? So people who don't, again, are not involved in real estate and income generating activities, who don't make it their business, again, to do anything in the community, like, you really don't have anything to say about whoever's quote unquote pushing you out. And if you want to have say so, and if you want to be able to determine what happens in your community, you got to put your money where your mouth is, period. Like, all of the talking and preaching in the world won't get you anywhere without putting your dollars and also your cents behind it. I mean, it's a simple concept as I see it. I don't know why. I mean, people was attacking me about my post, and it's like, I know about redlining and shit. Like obviously it goes on today. Like, that those practices have been in place since the beginning of time, and they never going away. Okay, now that we cried about that for the last 50 years, what else can we do about the situation?
I love it. I love it. So first of all, I want to thank Lamontra, I'm sorry if I'm killing your name, Stokes Randall, for the $10 super chat. I promise I'll work on saying these names better. The reason I brought this up is I was in a video, and people are like, well, inheritance. And I said, listen, Black people get inheritance. They get grandma house all the time. They don't want grandma house. They sell grandma house. And so in the group, I said, don't sell grandma's house. And everybody was offended, like, oh, Ericka, like, it's not just that simple. And I'm like, but it is, you know what I mean? So Courtney, you're in Philly. And as much negative news we hear about Philly, all of a sudden you turn around, people left and right, getting money out of Philly. So give me some feedback on the Max thing.
So I think, again, I actually was about to, if you didn't bring up the whole thing about the inheritance and not liking our inheritance, I was going to bring it up because it's such an important conversation to have. You're saying we don't get an inheritance. Well, we do get an inheritance. We don't typically have a will. So that messes up the inheritance money that you get in, or whatever you have going on, because not everybody's on the same page. So you have that going on off top. But then on top of that, is that, to the point that Cousin Nita made, is that a lot of people will want to get out of the hood. They're like, oh, I'm going to get out of the hood and I'm never going to come back. Okay. But at the end of the day, let's talk about in proximity where the hood is. The hood is usually close to the city center. So as white flight stops happening and they start coming back in, they start landing, they're going to start landing in areas that are closer to the city center, because this is kind of where people are going. So instead of us seeing that, like, we're always kind of behind the 8 ball. We don't see where the puck is going. So as soon as 2004 or 5, I started seeing, I was going to, like, a friend of mine who was kind of close to Temple's campus, because Philly is a town of colleges. They were close to Temple's campus, but not quite. And I was like, I mean, in no shade, I was like, why is this white person rolling? Are they running with their dog? Do they know where we are? And then I said, well, wait a second. Something is afoot. And it was. And instead of us, we were more concerned about seeing a white person running in our neighborhood than we were saying, why is this white person running in our neighborhood? Like, what has made them come here to live? Because essentially they're not just running around to run around, they live around here somewhere. So what makes us attractive to them? And then we end up doing like pointing, like, oh, well, look what they're doing. Well, how do you get in? Well, one, you can't sell grandma's house. You're going to have to do something different. And you may have to add something to grandma's house, because as you can see, I'm at my grandma's house, and and we have to do some work here. And we have to update the kitchen. We have to update the bathrooms. And that means that we're going to probably have to put in maybe $35,000 into the house. And you have to be willing to do the work to reap the benefits. And at the end of the day, a lot of people are trying to do the work. Now in Philly, we also have a 10-year tax abatement, which means a couple of things, just in simple terms, is that when you pay taxes, you pay it basically on two things. You pay it on the land and you pay it on the improvement, which is the building. The way the tax abatement is set up, that you are not paying any taxes on the improvement, which is the building, for 10 years. And what that means is that you're basically paying taxes on land. So on a property that's maybe $600,000, $400,000, $700,000, you may be paying maybe $1,000 a year in taxes. And our tax rate in Philadelphia is 1.3998%. So again, it's making it attractive for people to come in, and they're getting a brand new house, and now you're mad. So we have to put ourselves in position to actually get this money, which means we have to get our credit right, and we have to kind of protect what we have. You got to protect this house, but you can't protect the house if you're renting it.
Come on now. Come on. You're renting and you're hollering. Okay, listen, I drove to East Austin today to go get my tacos. You guys saw my Instagram. And as I drove through, it's just sea of white people just running, strollers just going by. And I'm driving by like with my window up, like, oh, y'all over here y'all right by the historically black college. Okay. Even the black kids on the historically black college don't come out on this street. So look, I mean, it's one of those things where you see it. And every time I try to, like, I have a friend here who all he does is try to get a house in East Austin. And so the black people there know their house is worth something, but ain't fixing it, getting code violations, ain't just clean the damn yard, something, and it's one of those things that's frustrating because you're right here by downtown. Where do you think they're going to go? Everybody want a cheap house. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Everybody want a cheap house. So again, thank you, Lola Hickman, for the $10 super chat. There's 150 y'all here. Make sure you hit the like button. Miss Charm City buyers, 1/2, 1/3, sometime 1/4, who knows, 1/5, 1/6. I don't know how many people in Charm City buyers. Atlanta people, who knows? Tell me.
It takes a village.
It takes a village to be up in Charm City buyers. I still ain't got no shirt, but I'll just, keep that to myself.
Whatever. So for us, like, we're very consistent in talking about how important it is to have a seat at the table to be able to be part of these conversations around gentrification or whatever it is. I love Nita's post because I think it really pulled people into the fire a little bit and held folks accountable to what's happening in our neighborhoods. And, there's always indicators, right? You got the new bike lanes, you got Mary Sue running around with her dog, you have all these things, you're watching these things happening and not taking action. And I think what's really critical is A, we stop selling grandma's house, like you guys said before, but B, we are putting ourselves in a position to buy in our hood, to have ownership, because ownership is power and it's very important. I love what Max was talking about. This is a capitalist society. Like, put up or shut up, right? Is really, really critical because it's the truth. And you have to understand how to leverage and how to pull money together if you don't have it yourself, and figure out how you do take over your neighborhood, right? You have to figure out, if you don't have the money, how do you get it? Are you going to drive Uber to get a few extra dollars? Are you going to figure out what OPM is and what it's all about? Are you going to, figure out how you wholesale and all this other kind of stuff? Like, how are you going to take your community by the reins? And if that's not your thing, right, we have tons of options. You can take your grandmama's house and take care of that and get that going. You can figure out how to make money, how to get access to money, how to use OPM, or you leverage your time and you sit your butt at the table at the community association meeting, where everything that happens when your neighborhoods are getting gentrified has to go through those meetings and through those conversations. You can get yourself a seat at that table and buy that seat at the table with your time. Right. So there's multiple ways to be part of the conversation. It's just a matter of, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to invest in the opportunity that everyone else sees? Because damn sure talking about an opportunity zone at the same time we're having this conversation. Like, are you willing to see the opportunity that everyone else does and then take action behind it? Like, that is the bottom line. You either need to have the time. Like Nita said, nope, they don't even want to do it. No, they want to be mad. And you know what? And that's fair, right? If you don't want to do the work, you don't want to spend the time, you don't want to pull the money up, then the protests and holding the signs and stuff, that's not for you. Right? You can't be standing here complaining and being mad and having an attitude about what's happening where you grew up when you ain't been there in about 11 years, right? It's about being part of the conversation through your actions, through what you're willing to do, through investing, right, your time or your money into these same communities. Otherwise, there's no reason why these folks shouldn't be able to come in and do something. You ain't doing it. Right? Like, there ain't been a food market. Anybody had fresh food in that neighborhood all this time. Now you mad because Auntie Sue got a grocery store now. How are you mad about that? Because she been going to the same corner store and getting them potato chips with the high blood pressure all this time, and you weren't mad about that. Right? So there's a balance, right? We have to take action. We have to be accountable to our neighborhoods, and we have to be willing to spend the time, the energy, and the money to be part of the conversation, because gentrification is not all bad. It's really, really not. And I think we need to get beyond just the knee-jerk reaction to the word and really think about what it's all about, how it is a challenge, and what we need to do about that, right? We need to protect, I don't know why I'm talking about Mary Sue, but we need to protect Auntie Mary Sue, who now her taxes are going to increase, and want to make sure that she can still afford to live in her neighborhood that she's lived there for 50 years. We need to protect her, right? We need to inform her and make sure that she knows about things like the homestead tax credit that will make sure that her taxes are staying stable and she doesn't increase her taxes really quickly, and it goes it increases over time rather than rocketing up when gentrification happens. Those are the folks we need to be thinking about, having conversations about, making sure that they're informed to take the right steps. But the rest of us need to be taking action. We need to be buying up the houses. We need to be sitting at the table with the community association. We need to spend our time, our money, our energy, and our resources to really have and earn a seat at the table in our neighborhoods. That's my thought.
Listen, the whole time she was talking, I was seeing Michaela in the back trying to hold on, and then the sleep hit her. She just out. I was like, go ahead, girl, go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. That's that good nap. Okay. Andre Hatchett. Now listen, I'm gonna read this super chat. Listen, y'all, don't be super chatting stuff that's gonna get me in trouble with the YouTube, okay? But I'm gonna read it, okay? Brooklyn Tall, thank you for the $5 super chat. Black people waiting for white people to die off is as if it's the answer. China is not too far behind.
Oh my God.
Brooklyn Tall, thank you for your $5, but don't get me in trouble with Skynet. Don't get me in trouble. Come on now. Andre Hatchett, you're in New York. As you see, every time I talk about New York, y'all trying to jump out of New York windows. Y'all trying to get up out of New York. Y'all can't afford it. Everybody I met in Atlanta, from the doorman to the Uber driver, was from New York, but they was in Atlanta. You guys know it is just like every other city. What's some of the thoughts on the Maxwell video, especially you being from New York?
I'm gonna start off with this, if you don't mind. So there's a brother named Albert Wilson. He was convicted of rape. He's black. The woman's white. He met her in a bar or some kind of nightclub. They didn't have sex. He kissed her. He had a public defender attorney. This is why money is so important. This is why you need, if you're Black, you cannot be poor anymore. You cannot be poor. I don't know the situation. I donated. Hopefully they can file an appeal. Let's say that he's young. So let's say that his grandmother or his mother or someone would have had a couple of houses, even if they would have been cash for it, because most people are cash for. They could have hopefully refinanced, told the lawyer that they'll sell one of the houses, taken a line of credit, something to get him adequate legal representation. That in the street protest with the fist up. I have white friends. They laugh at that stuff. They are not afraid of that stuff. They tell me, they were like, yo, Dray, I don't know why you guys are still doing this. Like, we don't even care. Some of us just like to do stuff. So some of us like to be irritants. And that's not going to push the needle that far. It does not scare white people. The best thing we could do for our people is think. So here's what I do. I think about me at 70 years old. I think about this week, next week, and about 3 months out. And I think at 70 years old, I'm 37 next week. Damn, getting up there. 37 next week, right? That's how I think. Where am I going to be at 70? Emotionally, where would the decision get me at 70? Financially, where would the decision get me at 70? It's the quick little, I need this now, I need that now, I need that now nonsense that holds us back financially because we're thinking about tomorrow instead of thinking about 20, 30, 40 years out. I'm in New York. I'm in Yonkers now. I'm in Yonkers. I've owned my place here since I was 22. So almost 15, 14 years or so. Just on an emotional standpoint, there is nothing like having your own place. My place isn't even big. It's 600 square feet, 550 square feet. Nothing. I've been in Airbnbs for the past like 4 6 months in hotel rooms. Nothing like having your own place. All around my building, they're building new condos that they knock down housing projects. They're doing all this stuff. The values of my place is going to go up. I could have gotten, I knew the stuff was coming because I read the article. There's a waterfront. There's like 6 new buildings coming up. Yonkers is going to be like a little mini Manhattan in a few years. We got to be ahead of the curve and go to where it isn't pretty per se. And sometimes we just got to wait it out and rock it out. But there are a lot.
What do you think? What do you think some of those neighborhoods? What do you think the first things you're seeing for when gentrification? You guys seeing like the bike lanes first and all that kind of stuff, right?
Bike lanes came later, but I'm on a waterfront, so it's restaurants on the waterfront. It's outdoor seating. At the bars and the restaurants are open later. They're nice flowers. Then the water.
Right. It's people. It's stuff to bring people home, right? People to bring people into the neighborhood. People start to get excited. Here in Baltimore, I'll tell you, the first thing that happens is you get the arts districts. The arts district, you want the young, cool, hip people. They come in. They start cool cafes. They start cool clubs or lounges, and it makes it fun and different for new people to come into the neighborhood. And then business folks and entrepreneurs and real estate investors like me are like, what's popping off over there? And then that money starts to follow in, and that starts the whole journey. Like a lot of times when you start getting these like hipsters into the area, that's what's starting to kick off the gentrification. And I think sometimes we don't notice. We think it's cool. Like, oh, okay, there's a new cafe. Oh, it's cool. You know, Susie Q, who's that? She's running around with her dog. Like, we need to be able to see those things and let it trigger us to take new action, buy up stuff. Like, let's take these as indicators on, you know, what's to come. And even before that, honestly, we have to see the opportunity in our hood without requiring someone else to validate it first, right? Because we know that, you know, these hoods and these neighborhoods, they've always had beachfront or waterfronts or whatever. They've always had really great views. That park was always really kind of cool, right? You know, there's always like these really cool architectures in the homes or something. The houses are really, really big, right? We have to see those things and not let what kind of gets into our heads psychologically about why our communities aren't valued and see past that. Like, it's the mentality, it's the mindset that we need to kind of get past so we can see the opportunity before everybody else does.
And the white hipsters, they're buying the condos and the 3-unit buildings. They usually typically aren't just even going in the rent. So that's what the whole white liberal thing kind of annoys me. Oh yeah, white liberals are our friends. They're not our friends financially. They're our friends in the street with the fist up in the protests. But they aren't our friends financially because they aren't loaning you money to go buy that condo next door to them in that brand new luxury building. We have to be everything will improve once we have more assets. Nothing bad will happen when us as black people own more assets. Everything is going to go up. Everything is going to go up in a positive direction.
So I see some more super chats. There's almost 200 people in here. For those of you who didn't see the video, I'll share it in a little bit, but I'm trying to keep the show kind of going. I know there's some people that didn't see the video in the beginning. Essentially, somebody said, Jabrat says, once you see a Prius and a Subaru, it's a wrap. People said overpriced coffee. People said nice, corner bars, all that stuff. Ethan Troy, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, I'm taking equity out of my grandma's house. She's about to be my hard money lender.
Don't mess up your grandma, Ethan, because I know you, Ethan. We're not gonna mess up your grandma. We're gonna make sure you know what you're doing with your grandma money first.
Okay. So I'm going to show you the reason what Andre said about having more money is true. The reason I was picking up on this is I was in Atlanta and I was in Midtown, and I'm gonna share this and y'all to be able to see it on y'all screens as well. This is Atlanta. And, people be like, oh, Atlanta, Freaknik, all that craziness down there in Atlanta. But when I was down there and I was in Midtown, I didn't know I was in Atlanta. I thought I was in Austin. Okay. I thought I was in Austin. I mean, I didn't see us up in there. We weren't out on the streets in Midtown. So this is Buckhead. At Buckhead's latest debut, it's rents. It's a 15-story Ashley Gables, offers its first in-home concierge capabilities. Okay, 1,600 to 7,000. Now, why am I showing y'all this? Because if you're working, people have this notion that middle class starts at 25,000 to 75,000. I'm sorry, it does not. It does not. 25,000 is the edge of poverty. I'm sorry, it just is. And I don't care what they try to tell you or get your head around. This is $1,600 rent, starting rents, and I'm pretty sure those are studios. I'm pretty sure. And this is in Buckhead. Now, if you look over here, it's beautiful, it's nice. Now, also, I'm gonna hit another one. DC's housing growth is not keeping up with job growth. Okay, they had a 45% increase in rents. Listen to that, 45% increase in rents from 2005 to 2015. If your grandma was renting in 2005 and now she's renting in 2015, she done had her rent double almost. Okay, another one. Higher rent is squeezing everyone, especially the middle income. No, honey, stop it. Stop this. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, this thing of the middle class. No, middle class income starts at least 65,000. I don't care what they out here telling you on these streets. These numbers. If rent is starting at 1,600 for one person, and you only make $3,000 a month, like that's half your income. That's half your income. That doesn't, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get people to see when people say, well, Eric, I don't want to own a house. Why would I want to own a house? Are you kidding me? You know how many people in Atlanta we talked to while I was there and they were like, oh, prices are crazy. You've been in Atlanta since rent was $450. Come on now. You've been in Atlanta when rent was $500 a month. I mean, there's some stuff that's getting ridiculous. So I looked at different housing prices before I came on the show. Now, I looked in Cleveland, okay? I looked in Philly, and the funny thing is, Aisha Selden, I'm killing her name every time I say it, but she keeps showing screenshots where people are like, I would never pay $199 to live in the hood in Philly. And I'm just kind of like, well, when do you get in? $199 is, for up north, sounds pretty good. Am I
Hey,
wrong?
Ericka, Ericka, here's what we do. Oh, I'm having real quick, Courtney. I'm sorry. As we live in the past so damn much. Oh, this used to be $10,000. It used to be $50,000. Used to be $50,000. We want to go back to the past when we have to realize that no, it's the future now. No, it changed. All right.
Now, Courtney, you work at, where is the place you work at again? I want to say it right.
I work with the government.
With the government. No. Well, I'm just saying, you've seen some of the posts that she's posted of places that look great to me. $199, $170. You let me know.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that go on in Philly is that we have, and like everybody was asking kind of what are the indicators for kind of like the genesis of gentrification, like where does it happen? How do you see it? In Philly, you have a developer making a statement. I'm interested, and that's how Northern Liberties came about. If anybody knows Philly, we have Northern Liberties, and it's Northern Liberties, but it was really North Philadelphia. And somebody thought it was cool to kind of start this area because it was right by 95 and all these other things. It kind of had all these great attributes of this neighborhood. So they basically kind of created something. So that's what happens in Philly. So to the point of like, why would I pay $199 in the hood? Well, part of it is that somebody has already gotten in on some of these transactions and really pushed up the price. So basically you have a developer who's just going to basically flip a house on you. And that's how the properties get that high in the hood. So again, one of the problems is Philadelphia has a very big problem with tangled titles. So tangled titles is that grandma died and auntie was living in the house. And then auntie either moved or died, but grandma didn't have a will. Somebody else died. And then all of a sudden, like there are 10 heirs and nobody can find anyone. And so you have one person who's living there and now we don't have a fix for it. So what ends up happening is that property goes up for sheriff sale. And the person, and as Charm City Buyers was saying, is that there's a lot of different programs to keep people in their homes. The city of Philadelphia has a couple. We have what's called Loop, which is the long-term owner-occupant program, which basically if your property increases by 300%, you basically keep your tax rate where it was before. Then also you have the owner-occupied payment agreement. And that's basically saying, listen, you have a gap full of taxes you owe, but you own it, or you have equitable ownership and you can stay in your property even if you pay $25 a month. And then we also have homestead, which basically takes $30,000 if you're actually you're owner occupant, you're living in the house, you own it. So there's a lot of things that protect the property and protect the houses. But then what happens is it goes to sheriff sale. Somebody will buy it at sheriff sale for $50,000 and then put it on the market for $199. So that's what happens in Philly a lot. So go ahead.
My question is, why we keep letting the cousin that don't pay no rent live at grandma's house? I'm just trying to figure out. Why that cousin?
I was just about to say that, like we could talk, you know what I mean? Like a lot of us are not as knowledgeable and are not as economically savvy as some of the illustrious members of this panel. But at the end of the day, it boils down to, my mom and I were talking about this. It boils down to you have to educate yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it. You have to educate yourself. The way that we combat this problem, as some of you like to term it, is through knowledge. The people perish for lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is not bliss. I don't care what your lineage is, where you come from, project baby, hood, N-word, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, there comes a point for all of us where it's like, yo, when I was a child, I thought like a child and acted like a child. Now that I'm an adult, you know what I'm saying? I carry myself as such. And one of my responsibilities as an adult is to make sure that I am properly and appropriately informed about the things that affect me, and not only me, but my family. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be, and this dawned on me like just within the last couple of years. It's like, sometimes I get frustrated with my mom and my grandma because, the things that they say and their ideologies. And I had to check myself like, Nita, a person can only operate out of what they know. I got to save them. Yes, I've got to put them on my back. It's not enough for me to know just enough for cousin Nita and my business. I got to know enough so that I can make sure that my mom buys a house that has $50,000 or $60,000 worth of equity built into it. You know what I'm saying? I've got to know enough so that my grandma won't be stressing out about her house payment and this is down the third. Yes, I've got to know enough. So you know what that means? I got to sacrifice so that I can educate myself, so that I can save myself and my people. And that's really what it comes down to. So again, all, you know, the economics and the social and all this and all that, yeah, those are, you know, obviously factors that affect it. But at the end of the day, again, to my point of saying gentrification is our fault, is because like Courtney said, we don't know. We find out about stuff way too late. The opportunity zone thing is one, like, I have anxiety about that because I just know that we're gonna miss the boat on that too. And then that's gonna be another crying point for us to be talking about how they came in and bought these areas up. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing to Dray's point, as far as assets, it's like I always say, like, yo, like, you're gonna have problems in this life. You know what I mean? Now, only you can decide the type of problem that you're gonna have. You want to have investor problems, or do you want to have regular people problems? You feel me? Like, I'll take the investor problems. I'll take the fact of that I've just bought a bando for 2,500, and now I'm staring down, you know, the barrel of a full rehab, or just bought a. But again, those are the things that help us, that help me to save myself and my community. So I you know, I'm big on accountability and responsibility, and that's where it starts. Nobody's gonna stop doing what they gotta do for their family for us. Nobody's gonna, it's like when you crossing a highway, like, unless you, sometimes you just got to get out there and bogart your way. Like, nobody's gonna stop coming into these communities and buying up these properties, fixing them up, improving them, and making them attract. Nobody's gonna stop doing that because we cry about it, because we say they pushing out our grandma. If anything, that's gonna make them do it even more. So at what point do we grab our and say, you know what? I'm gonna take this 6 months. I'm gonna take this year. I'm gonna go get with Charm City, and I'm gonna learn about these opportunity zones. Because damn it, you know, we're not gonna get got on this one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go link up with Ericka and find out about how to get my credit together so I could go leverage. Or I'm gonna go find out about other people's money. Or I'm gonna go get with Cousin Nita and find out how to get in the effing game without no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of the crying and the finger pointing and all of that. You could say you didn't go to college and you don't understand the economics, but the real deal of it is again, we got to take the responsibility for educating ourselves and for putting our families on our backs and just saving the day, man. I want to cuss so bad. Y'all cuss on this show?
Yeah.
You know damn well I'll be on here acting a fool.
Yeah.
You know, listen.
So here goes a real life success story.
Good, as long as you're not doing a stream. Okay, you can't do a stream like a drop here.
Bleep, mother, bleep.
So
wait. Hold on, Dray.
Cool.
Let me give these shout outs, because Cousin Nita said put $1 in if I haven't butchered your name, and y'all answered the call. So Tanya Hill, $5 super chat. Hey, Ericka, thanks for the shout out. We are the couple that gave you $25 for dinner at We Live. What's up? They were so funny, you guys. I was standing there and they're like, her husband couldn't super chat. So he's like, here's your super chat in person. So thank you. I appreciate that. I don't mean to kill your name, I promise. Thank you, Fred the Felon, for the $2 super chat. Now is now. I love this guy. Talking about Dray. Urban H, $1. Thank you for the $1. I'm not messing that up. Fred the Felon said $2 super chat. Become a trucker, move to the country. Thank you, Doug, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate y'all celebrating the channel. All right, Fred the Felon, you know, be careful here. $5 super chat. Black people need to save themselves, not their families. You can't give what you don't have. Crying about it doesn't help. Take action. Very true. Agreed. Cal Phillips, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Y'all have some great commentary in here. There's a lot of preach Nita. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Nita buying up bandos, all kind of stuff. You guys are cracking me up. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dray.
So a success story. So this guy we both know, Ericka, he's in California. I'm not gonna say his full name, but it begins with R. He's in the Bay Area. He has a house under contract in Oakland. He said, man, Dray, I'm tired of paying him right now. I was like, here's what you got to do. Don't do anything more than this, because he would have overthought it. I was like, call her, Shaniqua Badger. She can help you get a grant for the down payment and closing costs. He did that. He got pre-approved by a lender. He did that. He is in contract for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home His payments are going to be about $2,700 a month. He can rent out the other bedroom. If he does Airbnb, he can get like $3,000, $4,000 a month for that joint. But if he rents it out like on a consistent basis, he can get like at least $1,500, $2,000 for that one bedroom. So he'll be living for free or for $1,000 a month in his own house with just one property that he got, just the one start that he made, and he should be closing sometime by the end of the month. You see how you see how we can get stuff done? Just do something. Do something. Just something, anything. Just friggin' do it. Do it with a group of people. Do it with your friends. Do it with your family. There is somebody out there who will either teach you and or work with you so you can get something done. I own 5 and 10% of some properties in Detroit. I never even seen those damn things. 5, 10%. I'm okay with that. That is partial ownership beats no ownership. There are so many ways to get this thing done. It's up to you to decide. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys are cutting up in these comments. Somebody said from Bucktooth to Buckhead, y'all need to get it together down there, okay? Another person said that Stephanie with the A, she know I'm messing with her. She said they have kicked out all the renters in the Atlantic. I don't know what that is. I guess it's a building.
In Atlanta, yeah.
Is it where all the rappers and athletes live? Now only owners can live there now.
It's called Atlantic Station. Yep.
Wow.
That's how it's going down.
The rappers and the athletes. Okay, y'all, listen. You got to own or be owned. And I think, somebody asked me the other day, here's the funny thing, Dray. You guys know I'm building a house in Pflugerville. It's right at the edge of the line. Like I'm right here, Austin's here, Pflugerville here. But I'm near where my location is. I'm near where they're going to build Apple. Mm-hmm. Near enough that somebody would buy this house in 2 years from me and get it, right? So people are like, oh man, Ericka, don't buy a house. It's about to be a recession. Don't buy a house. You have to look at your individual marketplace. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of y'all have been saying, well, I'm going to wait till the recession's over. You said that in 2008. It's 2019 and y'all still talking about the last one. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to wait. You cannot keep telling me you're going to wait. And you cannot afford to buy. Like, again, another technique on that is even here. I'm buying the property. They're building a 140-acre development a couple miles down the street. I didn't even know about that. It just came out in the newspaper. They've been had that plan for years. So again, another story real quick, and I go back to this with the panel. There was a house, my white friend was like, girl, let's get this house. You need to get this house. It's $135,000. It was a renter's house. And I was like, man, I got to change the carpet. There was dogs up in there. I didn't want to do it. That same house 3 years later sold for $285,000. Mm-hmm. That's a real life right then and there. I could have made a decision to purchase that house. And what happened?
You could have got something for Breeze and kept that thing moving.
For Breeze, rip the carpet up, something. And that's the problem is I don't want to live over there. I want to live downtown. And if you've been living in Atlanta for the past couple of years, you could have been bought something for cheap. I can't even rock with you and act like you couldn't have. Even in Dallas right now, people could have bought houses for $150,000 in Dallas for a long time, and then they're like, it's too expensive now. I can't afford nothing. Like, come on now, come on. So look, back to the panel, okay? Back to the panel. Another thing I'm seeing is people move out, people move in, right? So what do I mean? A lot of people are leaving New York. A lot of people are leaving California. A lot of people are leaving really expensive cities to go to cheaper ones, or they're trying to invest in the Midwest, right? So on one hand, people be like, oh, I can't find cheap properties in my backyard. Because Anita's lipping the words I want to say, right? But that's just it, right? You have to get creative, because some people are gonna say, well, Ericka, I live in New York. We always hear the same excuse, and I know y'all gonna give it to me in the comments. I live in New York. I live in California. You don't understand, okay? And it's like, we have to let that go, okay? If you live in New York, you live in California, you're gonna have to invest somewhere else, right? You're either gonna have some rentals, you're either gonna have some kind of assets, something. We can't let you have that same excuse every year for the past 20 years. And my whole thing on redlining is, yes, these things have happened. They're true. There's issues. I hate Bank of America. They got sued for subprime mortgages. But again, when I ask you what you've done in the last 2 to 10 years, a lot of y'all has been renting and having new cars. So let's stop that fake.
We got to grow up, man. We got to grow up.
That black people can't afford to live in a certain. Stop with this black people can't afford shit, okay? Please.
Limiting belief nonsense getting on my nerves. Limited belief, pity party nonsense. We got to be more mature.
We got money, okay? Like, you may not, but us as a whole, we got bread, okay? Like, the stats show, the numbers show, we got money and we deploy them funds. Now, where and how we spend it, you know, that's the questionable part. But stop with the we can't afford and we don't got and we don't know and all of that. That shit is self-defeating and it's not true. On top of it, like, give me a break, man. I got bread. I don't know what you talking about. Me and my family, we good.
Ask for me in my house. Yeah. What's really funny, I had Kendra on the show and we're showing house prices. Oh, people in DC can't afford that. I said, who? DC got some of the highest incomes around the nation. My Uber driver in DC made $110,000 a year and was still driving Uber. He was like, I want the $500,000 house. I was like, oh, okay.
Man, people be saying that you could just go down from their head to their toe. Okay, so you got about $350 in your head, about $150 in your ear, another 100 around your neck. I don't know what the designer is you wearing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get to your shoes, your nails, your toes, your this, your that. So like literally don't miss me with the we ain't got and all of this and all of that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not accepting that all 2019. Facts.
I agree. I mean, excuses don't build empires, and we have to really keep that in mind. I'm really tired. Everybody has an excuse. They have a rhyme. They have a reason why they can't do whatever. The only reason why you can't do whatever is because you can't do whatever. That's it. You're just not doing the work. And I'm just every time. And I mean, and I feel really bad about the gentleman who actually Dray was talking about earlier about the public defender, is that honestly, I feel like sometimes the public, you can just get a bad attorney. I mean, and honestly, I feel like what happens is money gives you options, because at the end of the day, you get a bad attorney. If I have money and I'm like, all right, you're not doing a good job, I'm firing you. But what happens is you get stuck. So, and it's the same thing with life generally. When you don't have money, you don't have options. So if somebody's pushing you out of your rental, you don't really have options. So you're saying, well, the only place I can go now is into the suburbs, someplace that's far away from my job or whatever, because you don't have options. You haven't afforded yourself the right to have options because you're spending your money on something that's depreciating. And we have to take responsibility for our actions. Like, I get that we say, well, I wasn't given this education. And honestly, we weren't. We really weren't given good information, good education about finances. But YouTube University is free.
Okay.
There's really no excuse for you to be ignorant in 2019. That's it.
You can't be on YouTube watching videos crying about baby mama drama. You need to be focused. Okay. Like this, y'all using this entertainment, all kinds of wrong. Mm-hmm. This is a platform. If you have a question, you type it in. You know, I mean, it really blows my mind. Again, cousin Nita is from Cleveland, Ohio. Courtney is from Philly. And you can find her as the Ivy Investor on IG. You have Charm City Buyers out of Baltimore, and Dray is out of New York City. Y'all cracking me up in these questions in the comments. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I missed it. There was a question and I missed it. So, okay. What are some things people can do this year? Now, I have Kendra on the show. She has like a PDF talking about, you know, home down payment home assistance programs. What are some things each one of you recommend for your city?
My city, I'll start because I'm already off mute. But so in Baltimore, there's tons of grant programs for owner occupants. There's a plethora. And when I tell you, there's entire organizations focused on giving people money, free money, to move into Baltimore. There's a huge push into ownership here, which is amazing. But Baltimore is just ripe for investment. Like, when people ask us where to invest in Baltimore, we usually say it don't freaking matter at this point, right? There is huge development projects going on in East Baltimore, South Baltimore, West Baltimore, and North Baltimore. Now, if you're going to sit there, if you want to talk about gentrification, what's happened in New York and DC and all these different areas, Baltimore is ripe for it. And that's why we're so passionate about talking about how you get access to money with OPM, how you can think about and understand how to navigate the Opportunity Zone program, not only here in Baltimore, but across the entire country, how you give yourself the opportunity to build your own empire, right? Because Baltimore is more than the wire, Ericka.
The wire.
And everyone sees that, but the people who live here and have lived here for years and years and years. And that's the problem. And that's why we need to start being proactive and seeing the opportunity in our hoods before everybody else comes in and tells them that they're opportunities, which they already did, because there's a whole damn program about it called Opportunity Zones in your hood. So it's really about making sure that you're taking the action and doing what you need to do. But yeah, Baltimore has tons of grants. There's tons of tax credit programs. There's tons of incentives on buying here, investing here, developing here. And what I really need you to not do is call me in 5 years and tell you that I ain't tell you, because that ain't the truth.
All right.
I'm telling you. So Courtney, what can they do in Philly right now? You know, I was watching, I ain't gonna say his name. I was watching one of his lives and he was like, you know, Philly's just a flip town right now. You know, you just get in there, you flip and you leave. And I go, that's the problem. We have this quick lick mindset, like quick. And when I was at We Live 19, everybody who was there, you know what I'm talking about. Tony's father was saying, listen, ain't nothing wrong with flipping. You have to have two legs of your business. You got to have the fast money, but you got to have the long money. And we're so obsessed with the flip. We got to get in here, get out, get in here, get out. You have to have some holds. And I was giving an example about Cousin Nita. I was like, somebody was like, well, what does she know about Cleveland? I was like, she's got 10 rentals. What do you mean? Like, exactly. I see her mouth and something. But my whole point is, that's the problem. We are so obsessed with the quick lick that we don't see the real long-term money is rentals. All these people on Bigger Pockets and all these places talking smack about these areas, they own rentals in these areas. There's several of them who've gone back in comments saying, well, you know, I owned 4 rentals over here, but the street really didn't turn, so I sold them. So all this time you've been talking bad about this area, but you owned on a street hoping it would turn. So they're even investing, okay? They're investing in areas they hope will turn around. So, I mean, I love that y'all are in the comments giving each other links and free money and talking about different things. But Fifi Georgina, give me a break. I think that's how you say that. If the hood is so poor, why do Asians and Arabs open their businesses there? We not poor. We have poor spending habits. Big business.
That is it. I mean, so the question about what to do in Philly is that I tell people you got to get your mind right, and you have to remove yourself from the poverty mindset, because that is honestly what's very prevalent in Philly, is that we're so focused on the quick monies because we have this poverty mindset. We're always looking for this quick buck. It's not always a quick buck. It's sometimes it's a long, and sometimes like, and we talk about, I don't know if anybody's seen the meme about entrepreneurship. It's kind of like everybody thinks entrepreneurship is like this, and it kind of goes like this. But that's what real estate investing and real estate ownership is. Sometimes it's going to go like this. But at the end of the day, you're going to be up here at some point. And we are just so obsessed with kind of like, you know, all the flash. So get your mind right, and then look outside your window. Because again, I mean, I think it was said earlier in the conversation, it's like, listen, the people who are living here don't see the jewels. If you're living amongst it, you feel like there's nothing here. I mean, I roll through North Philly on a regular basis, lot after lot, empty lot, empty lot, empty lot. So again, get yourself in a position. There's a program called a land bank. You can get an empty lot. Go get with those programs, educate yourself. So get your mind right, get your money up, but then also educate yourself and kind of look beyond what you see. And also I think when you live in poverty for so long, you lose your imagination.
That's deep. That's the
biggest thing. Like, be a child again. See the potential of your neighborhood because it's there. You know, we've all taken advantage. Like in Philly, there's the L and then there's the Broad Street line, and we all take it. We took it for, you know, granted that the Broad Street line was like right down the street. Oh yeah, well I can walk to the Broad Street line. Well, somebody else is going to want to walk to the Broad Street line. I gotta take a bus and everything, and a train and an airplane to get where I need to go. But so where I live, you know, it's not as hot as these other places. But again, if you use your imagination, there's no limit to what you can do in your area outside your window.
And Courtney, one quick thing on that, the empty lots. I was talking to a guy, he's a wholesaler, and he was like, oh, you know, I don't know what to really do it. I'm just ready to get rid of it. And he was like looking for buyers. And I said, you're in a hot market. Why don't you just go call a contractor? Go get you a house plan off houseplans.com and see if he'll do, you know, a lot of builders here in Texas, what they'll do is they'll build, and then when they sell, you know, it's 70-30. You get like, or really it's 80-20. You get 20. But if you just own the lot, you won't do nothing with it before. So, and I said it to him, and then for a minute, it's like he thought about it. He was like, nah, man, I got other stuff I'm trying to do. I'm like,
it's that long. You got to be in that long game.
Yeah, they totally missed it. Now, here's a question, a thinker question. I'm going to start with Nita on this one. If you want to skip it, you can. Randall Turner said, this is a thought question. Are we poor because we're pessimistic, or are we pessimistic because we're poor?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wait. I want to hear it. I just want to hear what you going to say, cousin.
I'm not poor or pessimistic, so I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask this question, but like, cause I appreciate, you know, your input, but again, we gotta, like, that's not an income producing thought. Like, what difference does it make? You feel what I'm saying? Like,
poor is a common denominator here. Poor is a common denominator. Meet new people.
Poor is not even a concept to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. You know, like, I don't even think in terms of poor. I think that I got everything that I need, most of what I want, and I'm on my way to getting more. Like, my mind is so consumed with that it never, this whole poor, what I don't got, what I need to, like, that's like, I don't even have any mental capacity for that, because I'm so full of, like she said, opportunities and possibilities, and you know what I mean. I think that's, again, where we gotta, that's part of getting your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Is like, you have to have an abundance mindset. Everything that you need, you have. You know what I mean? Like, everything that you need to move through this world and to be successful, you already have. You just haven't activated. That's not anybody else's fault but yours. Poor, pessimistic, bro.
It doesn't matter.
My family got money, okay?
Have you seen these comments in here? These are t-shirts. One, they're quoting y'all. They're quoting y'all in here. Excuses don't build empires. Wow, you guys, that's a t-shirt. Hold it.
Ivy investor, stand up.
Stand up on that. Then the next one. Oh man, did I lose it? Wait a minute. It's so funny. Okay. Kamoy Matthew said, that's not an income producing thought, cousin Anita.
Oh, shit. That's a good one. That's a good one.
There's more super chats. Fred the Felon, buy a truck, put a driver in it. Thank you, Fred the Felon, for the $2 super chat. He's been super chatting all night. $2 super chat, Fred the Felon. When you live in poverty, you lose your imagination. That's her quoting. They're quoting you. Alice Hardy, $5 super chat. Dreams do come true. Thank you so much. You guys are cracking me up on these. You guys are cracking me up. Curtis says more options lead to more options. Yes. Okay.
Another thing is too, when you, to Dre's point of the tribe and all of the programs and the lots, and that's why I named my company Cleveland 10K Homes, because when I got started in wholesaling, like, that's all I was dealing with. What, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, they're terrible. Like, yeah, they need a lot of work, but you can still get them for 10 grand and under. Like, my mind was blue. And the thing about this is, like, when you start, the universe has this funny way of, when you start to take action towards something, it like kind of like brings you everything and everybody that you need for the journey. So a lot of you are wondering, well, how I'm gonna get this and how I'm gonna find that? Well, if you get off your hiney and start moving in that direction, you will meet people who can tell you where to get the grants from, and who can tell you about the first time home buyer and all of this and all of that. You will start to, again, this knowledge will literally start to come to you. You will start to attract it, but it doesn't work if you sitting in front of Instagram crying and complaining because your cousin Nita said gentrification was your fault and meant it.
Here, get yourself together. I got a question. Teaser T said they have auctions almost every day in Baltimore. It's that
There
true.
are tons of auctions in Baltimore, and while you sitting there watching them, you should probably be at one, right? So the auctions are because the city is taking properties back and putting them back onto the market as they're knocking down vacants and lowering the supply of vacants in the city. Baltimore City has billions of dollars of money to knock down vacant houses. So when you're talking about Baltimore, you talk about The Wire, talking about how you drive through Baltimore and there's nothing there. The city is knocking them down and doing it fast. We were driving down Baltimore today and was like, they knocked down this whole damn block and it's all gravel. And now they're going to put like a community garden or something right there, right? Things are happening. And so these auctions are coming up because they're churning through properties faster. The homes that have been code violations and all that kind of stuff, they're putting them on the auction faster. They're not fooling around with people because there's too much money being spent in the city right now, and they're trying to get things going. So yeah, there's tons of auctions happening in the city, and you should probably figure out how to get part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another t-shirt ideal, Charm City Buyers t-shirt, BELL, Building Empires, Leaving Legacy. Is that what you're somebody said Nita hit it on the head. Let me see what else. Laws of Attraction. Rock and Roll Dina said Cousin Nita didn't come to sugarcoat the truth.
No, not at all.
I did not come to play. I came to slay.
You're trying to mess me. She's trying to get me amped up. I'm going on mute.
Fred the Felon said that girl with the braids message is sexy. Your message is sexy, okay? I was about to say it, but I was like, he said the message, okay? Jay
Madison, now Ericka, don't play.
One time I called Kiera beautiful, and she was like, yes. I was like, I can't even give compliments. Y'all too wild on here. What's Essex? They said Ethan Troy said they need to demolish Essex. Where's that?
Actually, Essex is in Baltimore. Essex, that area actually has popped off in the last couple of years. There's more investors going over there because people are pushing out of the city and they're going into Essex, which it's technically Baltimore County, but it's right on the edge, so you can still get to the city really easily. And it's right on the water, so there's waterfront property, and it's not too far. You can take the highway straight to Under Armour. So Essex is not getting knocked down. Essex will be just fine. Amazon has 2 warehouses within a few minutes of Essex. So I promise you, Essex is going to be just fine. It's going to stay right where it's at.
So quick little story about Philly. We actually have one half of our family went up to Philly from the Carolinas a long time ago, and they owned a bunch of property near Temple many years ago. And there was a time frame where they got offered all this money, and so they sold all 5 properties. To this day, our family's like, and you know, they were ready to come back to the Carolinas, and they took that money and did great things with it. But it's just funny for them. Even they talk about they missed an opportunity because they were just so ready to get rid of these rentals to come back south, right? So that's the small. We got one cousin left up there, but he smoked all the time, so I don't be seeing him like that. So anyway,
well, make sure he's investing in marijuana.
The Ivy investor, come on, let her know.
Like
cannabis shaming, Ericka.
I mean, listen, when I come to your house and I walk in and I'm like, I cannot see.
That's okay. Get him to invest in marijuana.
He's like, get me a beer. I'd be like,
invest in it. That's medicinal. You need to get your medicine up.
Yeah, invest in it. That's all I can say.
Jason Pinkney said, I'm proud of all you. This is how you win in life. Great job, Ericka. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What about Elliott City? It was expensive when I was in college at Morgan.
Ellicott City. Ellicott City is usually underwater. Ellicott City tends to be underwater quite often because it's below.
I don't think either one of us are saying it right because Courtney's laughing so hard.
It's Ellicott City because it's not too far from Morgan. They're talking about something in Maryland.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Ellicott City. It's just a typo, but Ellicott City always has issues because it's underwater. They be flooding every time it rains too hard. I don't really fool with Ellicott City.
You shouldn't. Every time I see it on Facebook, somebody's like, "Yo, there goes my car." I was like, "Is your car floating down the street?"
Oh,
but it's built below property. Like Ellicott City is literally built in the bay of where there was a watershed. Like, so it rains and the water goes back to where it belonged. Like, what are you doing? So I never quite understood that, but I don't know. Ain't nobody asked me.
You guys are correct. Make sure you put your questions in here, you guys, because I can't take up all their whole night. They got to go do things too. So here with the questions. See, Allie said she didn't come to play. Hashtag winning. Talking to cousin Nita. Let me see. Preach. You guys are cracking me up. Let me see what else happened here. Oh gosh. Yep, most cities do have down payment programs. That's right.
Oh, and most cities have sheriff sales. I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh, the auctions, and they kind of think that they're limited to certain cities. No, if you don't pay your taxes, the city, and that's fine. And you don't have to pay your taxes. The city will sell the property for you. Mm-hmm. And this is something else I don't think we talk about enough. In the event that your property is sold at a sheriff sale, for some reason, there may be excess proceeds available to your family. Yep. Make sure you look into that to see if you can get something, because I have a cousin who literally, whole mess. Listen, we all have messiness in our families. I have a cousin who had a property. Her dad put the property in her name, never paid the taxes, had a renter, whole mess. But the property ends up going on sheriff sale, went up on a block, somebody purchased it, but it only had $4,000 in taxes, which is a mess. I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't know what happened because I would have purchased it. But either way, but I share that if the property sold for $18,000. So, I mean, beyond sheriff's costs and stuff, she has like $8,000 sitting out there in her name. Mm-hmm. So she thought, like, first of all, the house wasn't really hers anyway. I mean, it had her name on it, but she wasn't getting income from it and all that. And that's another thing for the day. And then I tell people, don't let people do that. But anyway, but even that being said, she now has $8,000 available to her that she can go get. So a lot of people saying like, yo, I lost the property at sheriff sale, but you may have some money left over.
Look at your neighbor and tell them surplus fund.
Yes. Okay, this happened so bad. Listen, I would love if Pocky was here to talk about that. I'll make a note in the future, but Pocky talks about it was so bad in Florida because the prices got so high in Miami that they would have like $50,000, $100,000 surplus, and people be trying to do some shady stuff to get people's money off of that. But I mean, you guys definitely any other questions? You guys put them in there in the chat. And if you like the show so far, there's been over 700 people in and out of this video so far. It's 210 right now. So thank you guys so much for the support and the love. 700 people have been in and out since this video has started. Hit the like button. 1, 2, ask your questions if you're basing them off these cities, but these people are pretty knowledgeable outside of their cities. Okay, all right, I'm gonna read it. Hold on a second. No, you are not marketing during the live. You better stop. So, okay, but thank you guys. Put your questions here. Somebody put $10 super chat in here. And it says, start reading literature in areas you lack. We buy houses blank, no repairs needed. We pay all closing costs, pay with high cash. So he decided to market during the live show.
And all capital letters too.
At least he paid for it. At least he did a super chat for it.
Thank you for the
marketing in.
I respect that.
You did it right. Hey, Ericka, you asked what's the best way to get started. So for anyone who's an overthinker and enjoys complicating life, join an investment group and invest with some stocks. You could, Black Seed Capital. You could, I think like $25 or $50. You can join with that. Start small. After that, find out a best way. Get a realtor. Buy Kendra's down payment program booklet thing. It's like $5 or $10 for your state. Find some free money. Get a down payment on your house. Close on that house. Number 3, do not try to perfect the market. Do not try to perfect the recession. Again, we're thinking here by the age of 70. Where will this get by the age of 70? If your house goes down $20,000 next year in the recession and it goes up 5 years later to $100,000, it's not going to matter, right? We're thinking about 20, 30, 40 years. Do not try to time the market on when to buy, because everyone's trying to time the damn market, right? You buy as soon as you humanly can. But start with something this week. This week, you're going to start investing in stocks, right? Then you're going to call a realtor. You're going to go buy Kendra's books, her program, her down payment joint. And by the summertime, you're going to be in a house that you own, and that's how you're going to start. Do not try to time and perfecting, or what if prices go down? Fam, you can rent out a bedroom or two up in that damn house and paying nothing to live every month. So just get the ball rolling and get pretty later. That's how you start.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to read off some more super chats, and then I want the rest of you guys to tell me how people should start. AH3 Detroit, thank you for the $6 super chat. Andrea Hall, awesome group, Spitting Truth, 100. Thank you so much. Fifi Georgina, $5 super chat. She said, now everybody can go get some hot Cheetos. Snacks are on me tonight. Okay. You guys are cracking me up. Nicole Noel said she bought a duplex in 2017 in the Temple U area, Broad and that area. The price is just going up. Approximately, somebody said, approximately how much do you spend rehabbing these homes? Who are you asking that to? Are you asking that to Charm City buyers?
I don't do rehab, so I can't tell you.
So Charm City buyers, I guess that question's for you. How much do you spend rehabbing these homes?
Which house, which home, right? So it depends on what I'm working on.
Give us a range, $1 to what?
$1 to $150,000. Like, what do you mean? So it definitely depends on how much work the house needs. So for us, we're buying houses. Some of our houses are damn near new construction, so those are going to obviously cost more. And sometimes we're doing a renovation for a rental or doing a turnover or whatever, and that might just be a couple $1,000s. So it really, really depends on the house that we're working on. I really can't give a better answer than that.
I'm in the middle of one, and it's and you have to like really understand what you're doing. And I tell people, you do the research on the front, like measure twice, cut once. Because what I've noticed, and I've noticed a lot of people getting into the game, and they end up getting into a property that has foundation issues, or they end up getting into a property with like major mold problems. So these are things that are super expensive. You think my favorite, I got a phone call. Somebody said they had a tree growing out of the basement.
Oh, I bought plenty with trees. I bought plenty with foundation. I bought some with the whole front wall of the house I had to rebuild.
And it depends. I mean, I tell people all the time, just be like, you need to have somebody walk you through like the first time. Because I feel like those are the things. I mean, you just make these really, really costly mistakes. And I'm just like, yo, like, just, you got to, especially in Philly, like goes left. I had people paying $8,000 for a lot and you have to look at the property before you purchase it. On one side was the abandoned building that wasn't up on the block, so it wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. And then the other side, I think, was also another abandoned building. And they paid like $10,000 for the lot. Well, you're not going to be able to build on the lot because you're not going to get clearance from L&I on either side. Does that make sense? Yeah. So again, you have to understand what your L&I's license inspection. You have to understand what you're purchasing. So I tell people, like, measure twice, cut once. Like I have one that we're actually going to probably do something close to like 110, but the property is valued right now. I think like the ARV is something like 310.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, after repair value. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, for people who are listening, but I mean, it just depends. It really depends on your numbers.
Right.
You're going to always spend more than what you intended. That's the answer.
I mean, yeah, sometimes, but I think at the end of the day, I think people need to make sure that they're not IG chasing, right? Just because, and this is why I stopped posting all of our properties as often, because people were starting off thinking that they need to buy a house that looked like that, and that's not the case. And so you don't have to compare. You don't got to look at my house or Aisha's house or whoever else's. You got to understand where you are, and a lot of times it does not make sense for you to be doing these tear down houses, and you need to be practicing more so your due diligence, walking through, like Courtney said, walking through with contractors, making sure you understand the scope, and then get comfortable with doing rehab. And you might decide that you're like Nita and you don't want to do that crap, and that's fine. But figure that out on a project that makes sense, and not on a project where you're gonna spend, your budget's $150,000, you don't know what to do with it, because that budget doubling is some bull. So you want to make sure that you're getting started at a level that makes sense for you.
Yeah,
win is a win, guys. A win. It doesn't have to be how Kiara wins. How the IB investor wins or how Dray wins. A win is a win. Sometimes we have great plans in place, but then we go on freaking Instagram, we see what everyone else is doing, we abandon our plans, which we've been working on, we fine-tune, and then we go hop on someone else's plans because it looked prettier and it had better branding.
Yes.
Not everybody has to do everything. We all have niches, which is why having like a coach or mentor who can help you find out what's the best outlet for you to do. Oh, I want to flip. Why do you want to flip? Oh, because I saw this on TV. What works best for you? Like, do you have flipping money? Do you have backup money? Fam, if you can get a 3-bedroom condo, live in one room around the other 2 bedrooms, and live for free, that's a great start. Pick which way. Hire someone to help you figure out your investor criteria, your investor makeup, and then get the ball rolling.
So, Cousin Nita, someone is asking, so if you buy these places for $10K, how much do you really need? And you specialize in the Cleveland market, so, run down the Cleveland market.
How much do you really like for a rehab?
Yeah, for rehab or to get it rent ready.
I mean, it depends. Like Kiera said, it's going to be property specific. In Cleveland, we got a lot of duplexes. So a lot of times you're doing 2 of everything as opposed to 1. So it just depends. But don't stop all of these. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Get out of that. Like, listen, again, this is a long-term play because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've had properties where it took me a year to put it back together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, that was my strategy. And I don't care what nobody else was doing or how they put theirs back together in 3 months. And then, like, I don't care. For me and my situation, my circumstances, my resources, my knowledge, my level of experience, it took me 1 year to put that property back together and how much ever money it took me. But guess what? I can own it for the rest of my life.
Hello.
You feel what I'm saying? Hello. Get off of this price and cost focus. Get off of that. You know what I'm saying? Start to think about return and value. You know what I'm saying? If I put this money, this amount of time in, what do I stand to get out of it? And generally, again, if you're buying a house for 10 grand, you put another 20 or 30 or whatever the case may be in Cleveland, you could be all in for 50K or up under. And for the rest of your life, talk about, generating $1,000 a month or whatever the case may be. That has to be, again, where our mindset is at, as opposed to what's the cost and what's the price and this is down the third. What is the price of not doing it? Consider that.
Ooh. Hello.
Everybody's like, good tips. She's got some good tips. So again, you guys, the reason I'm letting them say this, because I know y'all tired of me ranting. And what happens is I want other people to tell you the answer, because people are out here searching for answers, they Googling for 12 years about how to get an extra $800 a month. And honestly, the facts are you could have bought something near your grandma. No, I'm serious. Like, prime example, Asia Dennison came on here, and I'm saying her name wrong again, but she basically said,
you need to super chat Asia right now.
Her house beside her mom's was 11 grand during the crash. And her mom asked her, should she buy it? She was like, I don't know. Now that same house after the crash is $100,000 in Detroit. And so a lot of times y'all out here trying to penny pinch a decision, and you cannot. You have to believe or don't. And a lot of people are like, man, Ericka, you going hard on these trucks. Do you believe in this vehicle to get you where you're trying to go or not? And if you believe, like you've watched Instagram, you're watching YouTube videos on real estate. You know how many people contact me or walked up to me at We Live saying, I don't know, I'm new to wholesaling. You're here at the event. Be sold or leave. Like, you're here now. You have to walk with confidence and go do this thing. And a lot of y'all wearing me out with these questions sometimes. I've been like, be believing it or don't. So,
hey, Ericka, let me hop in here. Let me answer this question. Say, someone says, I want to get an idea of budgeting. I want to know. I've never rehabbed. I want to understand the realistic budgeting numbers. Here's the best thing to do.
That was super chat.
You hire a coach. You hire someone who can work with you privately, who's not in your deal, so they can give you non-biased advice. You pay them an hourly fee or a flat fee, and they walk you through how to get that thing done. and they will just give you straight facts, no BS. Sometimes we just got to pay for some damn advice. That's the thing. YouTube is a great starting point, but it's not a great ending point for a lot of people. Pay someone who knows what they're doing, who can give you their time and their attention, and who can walk you through how to get this thing done. That's how you figure out how much it costs to rehab a damn house.
But take advice. Like, I'm so tired of people asking my advice and like analyzing and picking it apart. I'm the expert. I'm telling you. Like, I'm telling you, I'm giving you my expert advice, and you and your novice commentary or thoughts are going to tell me or ask me a whole bunch of questions. Do what I tell you, and then if you, it's kind of like when you learn how to do the two-step. Do the two-step, all right. You want to do the cha-cha, then do the cha-cha, but get the two-step down right. Like, I feel like people get into these places where it's like, I wanna ride a bike, and you haven't even been on a the little joint with the with the little training wheels yet. Come on, no, like, step through it, walk through it. We can't be rich overnight. You ain't get poor overnight.
Mm-hmm. These are facts. All right, listen, you guys. I have to respect their time. They have loved ones, spouses, moms, uncles, brothers, whoever they got visiting, they got to go be with them. Kiera got to carry a child the same size as her into a house. I mean, listen, okay? Your daughter is 5 and taller than her. I mean, it's crazy. So look,
shut out there.
I love y'all though. Y'all know it's nothing but love. Listen, you guys are amazing. Thank you for your time. We've been on here an hour and 30 minutes. I promise under the description, when this video renders, I will have all their links. We're putting Kendra's links in the comments. I've been putting it in the comments. Now, a lot of people are saying, I'm going to read these last ones and let them wrap it up and tell you their IGs. Step out on faith. Faith cures all. Fear and doubt cannot exist in the same mind. They love y'all. Thanks, everybody. Nicole Noel said for the duplex, y'all kept asking in the comments how much she paid for it. She bought it for $70. Move-in ready, $1,300 monthly income. That was the deal. Okay. Great show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay. Thank you guys again. Thank you all these people. Appreciate it. Yep. Okay. All right, you guys. Listen. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna let you guys tell people where to find you, where to call you. Please call them. Don't call me. Call them.
Do not call me.
Please.
Unless we arrange it ahead of time. I don't
DM them all day. Okay, start with you, cousin Nita.
Hunter 216 on the gram. You cannot call me unless you are a hood buster, but you can reach out to me on Instagram, House Hunter 216. Ericka likes to put a plural on their house hunters. There's only one house hunter. She is House Hunter 216. Thank you, ladies and
gentlemen. There's only one hunter in her house. I ain't got time for y'all. Somebody said it's like the Sunday dinner they don't ever have. Listen, we're giving you the Sunday right here. Okay, there you go. Courtney, please.
Okay. I'm the Ivy Investor on Instagram, THEIVY Investor. Don't call me. I barely answer my family, so I certainly won't just answer some random number. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky. I'm from Philly, and I act like it.
He's from Philly. Listen, Courtney is gonna let us. So here's the funny part about Philly. I messaged Aisha and 2 other people from Philly. I was like, "Hey, can y'all go take me get some Philly cheesesteaks if I come up there?" They were like, "I'm a vegetarian." No, and I was like, "Dang."
I'm not. Come on down. Come on.
Exactly. I'm coming up and I will visit Philly. And it's going to be all gravy. So you can find her Ivy Investor. All right. That's my Philly. Charm City Buyers. Lady who's going to carry a 5-year-old. Hi. Bring on to this way.
This is where having a spouse, big strong man right here, because I won't be carrying not near nobody. So you can follow us at Charm City Buyers on Instagram. I also will not answer the phone unless you're next gen. Those are the only people who have my number, but you can slide up in the DMs and I will answer if you come correct. I would Instagram, Twitter, CharmCityBuyers.com. We're all over the place. We got a YouTube channel. Check us out. We're around.
They've been putting your YouTube channel in the links. Yes, we will put the OPM. I will put it in there. You guys keep talking in the comments. I will put OPM in the description. Thank you for the questions. Yes, we will put House Hunters, one house in the description.
Multiple houses, one hunter.
I'm done with y'all. Andre Hatchet.
Yes. Thank you, ladies, for allowing me to be in your presence on this channel. I respect and love everything you ladies are doing. Thank you guys for watching this. The bottom line is get started. If you need help getting started, hire someone to help you. That's the best way to get the ball rolling. Hire someone to help you get the ball rolling and get started. I show people how to become a successful mobile notary public. Ericka is going to have the link in the chat to enroll. You're going to save 70% off our all-in course. Every course we have lifetime access at a really, really good price, and it comes with monthly mentoring as well. Get started, invest in something. If your family wants to do it with you, great. If not, then holla at some friends. If not, then holla at some strangers. I own more stuff with strangers than I do with friends and family. All right, I own more stuff with strangers than I do with friends and family. So there is no excuse out here. Get the ball rolling. Love you guys.
So literally, I put the house that hunts 216, and someone put house whisperer underneath. Oh my gosh. Curtis gave a $5 super chat. He said, "Thank you so much. This is phenomenal." Thank you guys so much for watching. Somebody said, "Take care of the baby, Charm City Buyers." LOL, nice. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Khalil, for him once again, doing a great show right beside Kiera, but didn't get to comment. Thank you so much, Khalil. I'm just messing with them. I'm giving them extra attention today. All right, you guys, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, everybody. Listen, I'm Ericka Williams from the Classy Climb blog. You can find my book, Smartphone Millionaire, on Amazon.com or in the links below. Every single one of these people's links will be in the description. Thank you guys for coming on tonight. Thank you for all your time.
Good night.